Welcome to episode 46, The Devil's in the Details. Totally thought that title up all on my own. No outside help at all.
He did. I saw him do it.
Yeah.
The wheels they turn, and it was just brilliant.
Yeah, we all saw it happen.
Sure. Well, thank you for coming back this week. Last week, I believe we ended... let me pull my notes up. They went away. You guys defeated Wet Papa Grazul, which is such a fun name, I think.
Wet Pasta Grazul.
Yep,
Yes.
and the guardian of the floodgate, also known as Skull Ripper, very adorably. What was it? Why am I drawing a blank on it? The Nanite Golem. That's what it was. Nanite Golem.
Yeah.
And you cleared a pile of decorative skulls away and found these double doors, and you walked through only to be greeted by what Jacinto identified as an Endbringer devil. Whereupon you desperately tried to backtrack and nearly soiled yourself, but that's where I stopped us before you could do any of that. The icebreaker this week, which once again I'm going to put out yet another plea. I have not seen any new ones come in, and I very much need them, please. Courtesy of Drunk Fat Ninja. You've been kidnapped, and your kidnappers allow you to keep posting to social media to pretend everything is all right. What do you post to alarm your followers without alerting the kidnappers? Let's start with Leif.
Ava just posts anything. It doesn't matter. The significance is in that she is posting anything to social media.
That's exactly what I was thinking when I saw this question. Like, Ava probably has a generic template profile picture, like not even a picture of herself. It's like she picked a picture of like a tree.
No, it's not even that. It's just like the default, like the gray outline of a generic silhouette.
Yeah.
What about Lahan, Nick?
Lahan posts like how much she really wants the hot new tech gadget, but all the specs are wrong. Her followers don't realize either.
Oh no.
But
Yeah, I
it's
was like,
okay
that doesn't
because
seem out of the
she's so
ordinary.
endearing that the kidnappers just return her in the end anyway because they can't stand to hurt her.
That actually makes a whole lot of sense. What about Jacinto?
Jacinto would post something about needing to put up a strange empathnid Cthulhu horror hybrid spider for adoption, as he simply can't take it anymore.
That
Simply
hurt
can't
my heart
handle-
when you said that, even in a joking
I know,
manner.
and that would get your attention, wouldn't it, Jet? Yeah, so that's it. And then Finn's would be, I think I would post about how Jacinto is the dumbest, because that's obviously not how I feel, and I think Jacinto is the greatest of all time. Jacinto is the GOAT, says me, Finn.
I was like, I think I understand where he's going, and then you went a little bit in a different direction. I was like, he's gonna just post the opposite of how he feels about everyone. It's like, Ava is the most sociable and loving maternal figure that I know. Lahan is such a mean jerk who's very unintelligent. Jacinto also so crabby and awful, you know.
Yep. No. Tom, being self-centered, just focused on Jacinto for this one.
Fair.
But I mean, no, that was Finn.
Selfish. Just the worst.
Just
Those were
the
the
best.
words out of Finn's mouth, not mine.
But I believe we came back. We're gonna come back in. Oh, we got through that icebreaker quick. We're going to come back in. The Endbringer devil, it was laying inert, and all of a sudden its eye sockets lit from within, very dimly, flickering weakly, and it sort of raises one of its little claw-like appendages, the smaller ones, that I only imagine are analogs to the Sheeran's sexy time arms. But for war.
But for war.
And it gestures weakly at you, and it's like, and you just telepathically you hear freedom, and you hear it in what I believe would be Aklo or Infernal.
I have good news for you. I think I speak both of those. I do. I
There
do
you
speak
go.
both of those.
Regardless, Jacinto understands, but it's broadcast to the lot of you. Artania doesn't like the feel of these mind words at it, and it reacts negatively.
It's asking for freedom, which seems odd, but then, and he gestures to you said it's in a runic circle on the ground?
Yes, it's metal flooring, and then within that metal flooring there is a different kind of metal in a ring shape, and it has mystic symbols carved into it, and they're all lit from within with a purple glow.
So those runes, he gestures, are probably something to do with its lack of freedom. Let me see what I can remember on Endbringer Devils real quick. Can I make a mysticism check on these, Jen?
Yeah, you can. And I'm gonna pull up Nethys's entry on them so I don't get anything wrong.
Not a bad idea. That is a 34.
Well, they're also known as Delachar. Or Delachar.
Ah, yes, you gotta get some good Delachar on your steak to really bring out those flavors.
Oh no.
And I just realized I should have made this Endbringer Devil even bigger.
Oh?
It should be should be about yay big.
Dear listener, he has made the Endbringer Devil 5x5.
What? Oh, 5 squares. Yes, not 5
5
feet
squares
by
by
5
5. Yeah, no, it is 25 feet across. That's a big boy.
It is a bit of a big boy. Yes. So this thing is simultaneously a devil and a ship of war. Typically, they house a number of smaller devil fighter craft within them. What other? I'm just gonna read the entry because it's a very interesting entry. For countless eons, Hell's legions, Judy, have undermined the material plane, subtly corrupting mortal empires and laying waste to entire worlds. The Malebranche, diabolical generals advancing hellish agendas on terrestrial fronts, call upon the plane's most fearsome agents to claim strategic footholds. Some of these campaigns call for truly terrifying displays of force. Thus, when the Lords of Hell seek to make a whole world shudder, Delachars take to the battlefield. Known as Endbringer Devils, Delachars are forged to embody diabolical conquest. They are vessels and weapons of ruin, designed to create beachheads upon even the best defended worlds. Delachars were made to withstand the depths of space and can traverse the void, stalking worlds like apocalyptic meteors. Any witnesses who survive a Delachar's devastating crash landing swiftly realize that the Titan's assault has only just begun. Within its body, each Delachar houses a cavity capable of holding a deadly payload, an infernal strike force, or a portal-generating organ. The space isn't magical, but it's well protected and able to withstand any attack as long as the devil remains alive. As Delachars are close cousins to Levelox, they most commonly transport these deadly infernal shock troops. Upon landing on a world, Delachars release their cargo and reconfigure themselves. In their terrestrial forms, they appear as a many-legged titan, a form which readily demonstrates that they are not mere machines of war. They are calmly arrogant and quick to pronounce a world's inevitable destruction. While Delachars participating in a major planetary assault might crash land in heavily populated areas and immediately attack, most favor staying undiscovered so they can gradually conjure more devils in preparation for even greater diabolical offensives. Delachars have no ability to launch themselves into space. As a result, after a Delachar in starship form uses its Cataclysm ability, it returns to Hell using its plane shift spell-like ability and waits to be conjured back to space. They stand roughly 90 feet tall and weigh approximately 400 tons.
Goodness. Well.
So all that flashes through your mind.
Yeah.
Would you like to know maybe 2 pieces of information? Do you want to know any abilities they have? Anything like that?
Yeah. Give me give me a special ability. Give me the one that you would think I want to know about the most.
They have a special ability called Hellfire Glare. As an attack, they can shoot hellfire from their eyes at a single target. The attack has a range increment of 120 feet, and the glare acts as if it had the Unholy fusion. It does 8d8 damage, and has the burn critical effect.
Well, so this thing can literally kill with a glare. If looks could kill, this Endbringer devil would do it. Okay. What's another... No. What resistances does this thing have in case we do need to fight it?
Resistance to acid and cold, 10, and I'm going to throw in for free spell resistance, 30.
Okay. Spell resistance, 30. Yikes. Acid and cold resist 10.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And you mentioned that this thing looked pretty weak and stuff like that. So Jacinto gets the idea that this thing is perhaps a lesser form or something, or like, would you?
You get the impression that this was once a very mighty titan of infernal war, and it has been slowly weakened over who knows how long. You can see that, like, its hull is oxidated, cracked. Its bladed arms are chipped, and the ends maybe are snapped off. You can see scratch marks in the floor within the circle. It is, and where it should be like glowing, hellishly and violently and aggressively, it is very dimly lit within. The lights of its eyes are flickering very weakly.
Okay. So look, this thing is probably super evil. It is. There's no probable about it. It's super evil.
It's like listening to Nickelback backwards turned up to 11.
Ew. Well, it's asking for its freedom. I don't think we should necessarily give it its freedom because it is an incarnation of evil and war. What do you all think?
Agreed.
All right.
Seems like if this thing were to get out, be a bad day.
So, sorry, Leif, I saw you unmuted. I wanted to give you space.
I just have a visceral no reaction to this, but I think Ava's down for the challenge. She just kind of steels herself and grips her shuriken tighter.
Okay. So do we feel like we're up for shooting this fish in a barrel, so to speak? It's probably not going to be quite that easy.
Free me. I will owe you. I've been here for eons.
So devils are the ones that are lawful evil. Yes, they are lawful.
They are lawful evil.
Okay. But if we free you, you're going to, he says this in Infernal. If we free you, where do you go after this?
Oh.
And after that, you get summoned to some war and hurt more people and kill more people?
Not for a long time. I will need to regain my strength.
I don't know, you guys, he says to, softly to the others. This is kind of like, I don't know what to compare this to, but this guy's bad news. If we let him go, he recovers his strength and starts killing people again. But then he owes us a favor. I don't know if that's really worth it.
If you don't free me, you're no better than Karzog.
I typically don't really take judgment from people who are devils. I know myself better than you, I think. And anyway, I said that quietly to my friends. So yay or nay, friends? Are we gonna fight this thing? We don't want a favor. We'd rather fight it and kill it.
I don't think we can kill it.
You see it reach out with one of its arms, and it's not in a threatening manner, despite the fact that it is literally a weapon arm. But it reaches out, and the moment it hits that plane where the rune circle, the inner part of the rune circle, it stops, and there's a shield of energy that's brightly lit around that point of contact, and then it rapidly fades to transparency.
Wait, but why is it here?
Do you ask that out loud?
Why are you here?
I power the floodgates. I and my companion. And if you'll remember, I described that there are the remains of another Endbringer devil you now realize in the other circle. I've felt the pressure building over the last few weeks. The most recent... I can feel the shield generator clawing at my soul. But there's not enough power with me alone. Soon the shield will fall.
And what's gonna happen if we free you?
I'll get to go home, and it will be super cool.
Looks at Jacinto, our resident mysticism expert. What does that mean for the gate then, Chet?
For the gate, it's not... If you leave the devil here, the devil is just going to sit here incredibly weakened. The gate might try and activate. Doing so would probably kill the devil, but it would not be enough power to actually relieve the pressure on the shield. The shield would probably then fall shortly thereafter.
Okay. Oh, so we don't really need to even fight this thing. We can just sort of...
But if we don't... Are we really just going to leave it here to die? Even if it is a devil?
It's hard. This is hard. Because it's a devil, but it's a sentient thing, but it's evil. But it's been trapped here.
For so long. Eons.
Yes. Does it...
I missed so many family picnics.
Oh, don't try and flee with me, Mr. Endbringer Devil.
It reaches into its cargo hold and it pulls out a giant Polaroid of its family.
Its family of evil people, of devils.
You see baby Endbringer devils.
Yeah, still dead.
All right, Lapis is back. Let me get rid of faux Lapis, folks.
Hi, Lapis.
Hey. Sorry
Have
for
we
making
told you that we've been making up icebreaker answers for Finn this whole time?
What silly things are canon?
Your favorite karaoke song is "Tub Thumping" by Chumbawamba.
Oh, actually, that's accurate. That's fantastic.
That was something I spitballed.
Yeah, Jed said it. I was like, actually, yeah, that fits.
God, get knocked down. That's actually accurate for Finn too. He does get knocked down quite a bit.
Because he's wearing armor like 3 levels old.
3 levels? How about like 7?
Well, I was being charitable.
My armor is definitely up to level and very cool and effective.
Oh yeah, totally. So we were just in the middle of negotiating with this Endbringer devil that you can see to the
Gohan
south.
is being a bleeding heart and saying we should let it go home, even if it is evil. Everybody deserves to go home, Jacinto.
Here, I'm going to post the description of the Endbringer in chat so Lapis can get caught up on what you all spewed at them.
Right. Well, Han's making Jacinto. Let me double check my alignment. Neutral good, not even chaotic good. Neutral good. Look bad.
Gohan is also neutral good. Just good. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, Finn is true neutral, I want to say. Chaotic neutral.
So, does the devil know? Well, we should ask. Leif, does Ava have an alignment?
She sure does.
Are you gonna tell it? You gonna tell us that alignment there?
I could.
Is this alignment the one from when you were cursed, or has it changed?
No.
If it was from when you were cursed, I feel like Ava's personality has changed decently since then, and it would probably shift at least one positive from that.
It's not cursed alignment, Ava. No.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
that's
the
fine.
alignment was
All right
changed
then.
while cursed?
Keep your secrets.
She's lawful neutral, if you must know.
More Kronkin secrets.
Born with brutality in her heart.
So, then my next question would be, I guess, to the devil. Well, here's the thing. We came here to fix this shield that protects the settlement. The one whose name I didn't forget. And what fairy?
Turtleback Fairy.
Turtleback Fairy, yes. So you have been, you may be upset to know, you've been saving countless lives of the innocent people of Turtleback Fairy by powering this gate. And while I do agree that it is horrible to chain any kind of sentient thing to a life of slavery and imprisonment, well, I have a question for you. Do you know of a way that we could, an alternate power source that we might be able to fuel the gate with, the shield?
If I give you this information, will you free me?
Sendo looks at the rest of the party.
Finn nods, makes a questioning gesture.
Ava turns and faces Jacinto like it's down on one knee, and she says, "It would be dishonorable of us to just leave this thing to die in such an inhumane way, and it gives us also the opportunity to defeat him in honorable combat sometime down the road in some distant future. There will always be good to counteract the evil, right?" And she gives him a knowing look.
I feel like the Endbringer Devil. It's a titan of arcane and infernal magics and has telepathy. It probably overheard that in some way, shape, or form, and it looks upon Ava with favor.
Just Ava, I see how it is.
It appreciates her warlike, honorable personality. He's not... I mean, it is a monster, but it's not a... It's not like it's a demon, you know. It's a devil.
Yeah. Prefer devils over demons any day, honestly.
No, your eyes.
Jacinto will return the knowing look and give a short nod. Yes, I suppose we can trade your life for the lives of the people in that settlement.
And another thing to remember is you wouldn't just be saving that specific settlement. The shield protects a vast swath of this area. That's just the settlement that you have a direct connection to. There are multiple.
Right.
There's the Shimmer Glens. There's I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. There's another settlement that's opposite Turtleback Ferry in that weird space lake that we've got going on. There's a number of other settled areas around here that are protected by this shield.
A lake, if you will.
Okay. So, yeah, Jacinto will say to the devil, all right, you give us the way, and then we will let you free.
Your word, a solemn vow. I swear, should you free me, I will exit. Sorry, I'm trying to think of my words and I'm stumbling when he wouldn't be. They wouldn't be. And I swear to return to the hells, never to bother another living soul until summoned again.
Oh, caveats.
I mean, he
And-
has to follow. They have to follow orders. They can't just not.
Oh, of course.
There is a
And-
hierarchy.
I, in turn, swear that as soon as we can be sure that this method works, we will turn off this field and set you free.
To be fair, my knowledge I will give to you, but for it to work, I must be free prior. This is not a preference on my part. This is the only way it will functionally work. As you can see, I am bound in this circle. There is another circle where my fallen comrade resides. There must be two beings, one in each circle, willing to offer up pieces of their soul, their very life force, to power the floodgates.
Oh,
A summoned creature, such as myself, will be bound forever within this ring until their demise. A living creature may freely walk back and forth through the ring.
What about the
Look
undead
at
creatures?
You're a native to this plane. You're fine.
Okay.
Mechanically, what he's trying to say here is, Judy, please. What he's trying to say mechanically is two living creatures, one that could enter each circle and effectively be willing to take up a negative level. A fortitude
I'm
save with a
immune to
set
negative
DC.
levels.
Fortitude. So then it wouldn't work if you were immune to them. But two living creatures capable of being affected by negative levels could enter, one in each circle. Accept the negative level. There is a fortitude save to recover from that, and I believe you probably recover. I looked it up 3 weeks ago. We can go into the details on that later. There is accept the negative level, and that would be enough energy to allow the floodgates to function. A summoned creature would be bound inside the circle until their death, and every time the floodgates needed to function, they would be subjected to a negative level. They could potentially recover from it before they are next drawn upon, therefore they could live a very long time. In case in point, this Endbringer devil who's lived for eons, slowly having its life force drawn from it. So this is what I was talking about, Tom, when I said that there is possibly, depending on how you want to solve this problem, the chance that some of your summons might go away.
Wow.
yeah.
Because again, a living person could potentially recover from it. They wouldn't be bound by the circle. Like the two of you guys could walk in, accept a negative level, power the floodgates to relieve the pressure, and just maybe you could go back to Trollback Ferry and be like, hey, send 2 sacrifices up to the shield wall every year. They're not going to die as long as they have a certain amount of life experience, we promise. Or you could maybe summon a couple higher tier summons that would last for maybe a century. You know?
Yeah. Oh, that's tough. Because, Jacinto's not wild about anybody being trapped in here permanently. Because that sucks.
The other thing, though, is some of your summons are sentient. You could summon them and ask them if this is something they're willing to take up.
That's true.
And they're of a decidedly celestial nature, so most of them are good-hearted.
Well, yeah, that's
to an
true as well.
extent. You know.
Yeah.
Or you could just leave the Endbringer Devil to its demise and allow the shield wall to fall. I mean, you have so many options here.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, I think Jacinto will turn to the others and say, I guess let me talk to some of my friends real quick, or some of my summons. I don't know if Jacinto thinks of them as friends necessarily, but he did learn their languages.
Honestly, like we haven't role played it much because you use them very much in combat, but I could very much see Jacinto becoming at least a friendly acquaintance with his summons. I assume that you'd have narratively, I could assume you have some sort of connection, which is what's allowing you to draw them forth from another plane. You know,
like maybe on off days he summons them for brunch.
Well, that, or maybe you communicate with them in your dreams. You know.
Yeah. So Jacinto will summon an Archon. We'll say of 3rd level.
Okay.
So summon level 3 Archon, and he will begin sort of. He'll talk to it in. Let me double check my languages.
Celestial. I'm pretty sure you speak Celestial.
Yes, I do speak Celestial. So you all hear Jacinto begin speaking in a very, just incredibly musical language, and
I imagine it honestly sounds like chimes, like very light church bell sounds almost.
I can get down with that.
So he begins speaking to the Aeon. Nope, that's not it. The Archon. That's the one. Aeons, Archons, all those servitors, and says, so here's the situation. We have a floodgate that is holding back a bunch of asteroids and such from ravaging settled planes because people are silly and stubborn and want to live where they want to live. And the power source for that up to this point has been a couple of Endbringer devils who have been slowly drained and turns out destroyed. We worry that the gate is going to fall and need some people to power the gate with their life force. I wanted to summon you and ask you if this was something that you would be willing to do. Feel free to say no, because I don't. This would mean that you would be locked up. You would be imprisoned effectively, and that is not something that I want you to go into blindly.
Now, this is a very good creature. It is very positively disposed to you, but I would like for you to roll a diplomacy check just to see if your plea there would push it over the edge.
The thing is, Jacinto really doesn't want to influence their decision at all.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not trying to make a plea or anything. He's stating the facts, and then he's letting them choose, because he and Tom don't want to consign any, ones and zeros.
I get that. I was trying to put a mechanical spin on it. So now you put it all back in my court.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. You don't need to make a roll. It sort of hums for a moment. He's like, "All right, tossing it up the ladder, mate." He's vaguely Australian for some reason. but
It's
in
fine.
Celestial. And it sort of
Celestial
hums.
is actually just, an Australian accent this
Yeah.
whole time.
Well, like as you kind of like how never mind, don't worry about it. Yeah, so it hums and it glows intensely for a minute, and you just hear like just church bells, just loud church bells. And I think what happens, because I believe this creature would be willing to do this, it would be protecting thousands of people in giving its life, and that's sort of its job. Honestly, it's supposed to go out in the universe and do good. And I think light shines down upon it. Church bells, like, and I'm not talking about the little tinkly church bells when you were talking Celestial, like straight up, like it sounds like a church bell tower is going off in this room. Rain are just resounding throughout the room, and this thing sort of does the Pokemon evolve, and it's elevated to a significantly higher station, because an Archon, granted it's a 3rd level summon, but an Archon is not going to be something that can last millennia. And I think the upper hierarchy in the plane that this came from looked favorably upon this decision and this creature's willingness, and sort of elevated it to allow it to last significantly longer. This is something off of the spur of the moment, so I don't know specifically what Celestial it's changing into. Tom, if you know off the top of your head of a super cool higher tier Celestial, feel free to bring that out. But that happens, and it floats glowing into the center of that circle, and it sort of looks down in disgust at the remains of the dead Endbringer devil, and it just kind of like awkwardly sort of kicks it out of the ring.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to be here for a long time. I don't want to share it with that.
Jacinto will sort of he, like a single tear sort of falls from his eye. No, not even a single tear. Jacinto starts crying when he sees this sort of the sacrifice of this Archon and its elevation thereafter. He says, "You are a better person than I." Name of Archon. Thank you very much for what you're doing.
Its name is just a series of musical notes. We cannot pronounce it with our human mouths.
Exactly. So Jacinto definitely said it. I just can't pronounce it with my human mouth.
It's probably something like, the only angel that I can find off the top of my head is a freaking Barakius angel, but I feel like there has to be something higher than a CR7 that's celestial.
I know what it is. Archon's names in Celestial are basically just musical chords that you have to, like hum in succession. But yeah, so he thanks the Archon dearly for its service, and then he will. Do I need to do another one?
Well, the question is here, are you intending to free the Endbringer devil, or are you going to allow it to die and then replace it?
No, we made our word.
Yeah, Ava will approach and now, say, sorry, go on.
I just want to mechanically let you know that there are options here. A Dispel Magic could, if you have that available, could potentially temporarily shut down the binding circle. Or you could attempt to damage the runes, which would prevent it from binding any other creature.
Well, I don't have Dispel Magic. That's a pretty high level spell. I think.
Binding? Like it would still function otherwise? You just can't.
It would
bind
still
anything?
function otherwise. It would just allow things to freely move about.
Gotcha. Ava will look up at the Endbringer and say, May we face each other on some future battlefield, and she'll bend down with one of her shurikens and just scrape one of the runes away.
The moment that scratch is complete, the devil sort of nods at you. Its body is not shaped such that it could bow, but it nods at you regally, basically focusing all of its attention on Ava, and then it just winks out of existence in a puff of brimstone.
And then Ava will go ahead and take up the place where it once stood.
All right. And when you step into that circle,
You might need to mute Leif.
sorry, when you step into that circle, you can feel a connection to the shield wall. You feel where there has been damage, as though it's an extension of your body. You feel you feel the shield wall and the floodgate controls trying to claw at you, begging for energy. There's so much pressure. You can feel the weight of all of that space debris pushing down upon the shield, as though the shield is an extension. You feel it as though you're shielding the habitable zone with your body, and the debris is pushing against your back. And your back is about to break, and the engines sort of lurch to life, finally finding purchase. There is enough energy available, and you can feel them rumble from below, and all sorts of runes start lighting up on the walls. And you feel it claw away a small portion of your soul and your life force, and you have one negative level. The angel, you see its light dim ever so slightly and flicker, and it sags momentarily before standing up straight again. And you feel the floodgates lurch into action, opening up, allowing smaller bits of debris, just like small holes in the shield, just small little holes, allowing the smallest, least threatening amounts of debris through in as controlled a fashion as possible, so that they're not a danger to the inhabitants of the region. And this goes on for a while. It probably, you feel this weight pushing down on you for probably a couple hours. You're probably, by the end of it, on your knees, sweating, because you can feel like the weight of all of this debris. And you sort of have a little bit of a connection to that angel. You're not shouldering the burden alone, but it is a very heavy burden. And eventually it's within safe parameters, and you feel that weight lift and the runes darken. And you can focus on the world around you again. You still have that connection as long as you're in that circle, but you're free to move. You don't feel it clawing for your energy anymore.
Ava, when she first entered the circle, just kind of went down into a meditative sitting position, and then she'll, after those couple of hours, just open her eyes, get up, brush herself off, and just leave the circle.
I'm honestly super curious how Ava feels after that experience. Like, you basically that was like you were Atlas in that moment, is what it felt like. Granted, it was Atlas with a companion to share the burden, but you were basically Atlas holding up the sky.
Ava just approaches her companions and says, I could use a good long sleep and a nice hot meal.
Yeah, I think you've earned it.
And she won't really say anything for the rest of the day. She's just kind of contemplative.
And I think seeing what you did there, the angel, whose name is insert bell chimes, turns to you, Jacinto, and it speaks to you, and it sort of gestures where Ava made the scratch into the other circle.
Thinking this, Jed, I was waiting for a time to cut in. It was like, oh, Jacinto saw that and wants to do that.
And it's not doing that because it necessarily wants free, but it lets you know, it's like, as long as I'm it's no longer going to be vaguely Australian. As long as I'm in this circle, I don't have access to any of my abilities. If you mar the runes, I could call in a companion to share this burden.
Yeah, actually, that was exactly what I was thinking. As soon as I saw Ava do that, and then thought, the gears started turning. Oh, this is great. You could go every now and then. You could even take shifts, right? You could, if you could find others like you that wanted to do this. This could be just a small thing. You could share this burden among many. Sento, is very excited by this.
Indeed. Although I think I will stay. This will be my stewardship. I will make sure no one else tampers with the shield.
Thank you very much. You are nobler than I knew. And Jacinto will make he'll take out a little, like, I don't know. Oh, he'll take his staff, which is basically like a twig. He'll take his staff of mystic healing and sort of just similarly break a line through the runes, freeing the Archon.
And when you do that, the light that it was radiating that was sort of contained by that runic circle just sort of spreads throughout the room, and you see it hold out its other hand, and all sorts of celestial, I don't know how to describe it, celestial arcane symbols sort of start writing themselves in the air and like rotating, and it sort of turns into like a locking mechanism, and then it sort of opens up into a gate, and another entity looking very similar to this one exits and sort of takes up a pose in the middle of the other circle, because at least this way then they can monitor the status of what's going on with the wall. Because you don't have, like, once Ava stepped out of that circle, her connection with the wall disappeared.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think this has been resolved pretty well overall. Thank you again, both of you. Jacinto will chime out in Celestial, and he bows deeply and turns to the others. Well, let's get Ava that hot meal. Yeah?
Food sounds excellent.
I know I'm tired. And I didn't just, shield the thousands of innocent lives with my body. So let's do it.
Agreed.
We go back to town, unless there's more for us to do here, which we would know from our journal.
There's not necessarily more to do here, but I wanted to kind of touch bases with you because it wasn't something that I think I successfully hammered home. There is more to do in the region. This is not quite the end of the book. I don't think I was quite clear in elaborating on I know that it was hinted at the top of the shield wall. There were more Kreeg ogres. The entirety of the Kreeg ogres were not at Fort Rannoch. That was just like a small splinter group. There were more at the top of this dam, and it's been a few weeks, I believe, since it was mentioned, but there was mention of a giant, one Barl Breakbones, taking over the Kreeg ogres, and it's at his behest that they have been sowing chaos in the region.
Right.
And if you could, and I'm sure you did a little bit of talking with the locals during the party and various other things, you would very quickly realize that there is one large asteroid beyond the shield wall that the Kreeg ogres, it's like their clan hold. It's where it's been their base of operations for generations. It's what they operate out of. And this Barl Breakbones, this giant, he came out of nowhere. The Kreeg ogres used to be a nuisance. They would crop up every once in a while. They'd do something stupid. The Black Arrows would run them off. Yes, some people would die, but they were not the menace that they are today. They weren't going around trying to bring down the shield wall that protected the entire region. They weren't they weren't conquering and eating the people within Space Fortress Rannoch.
Okay.
Well, I say we go back to the inn, get a night's rest, and then we can deal with these
The Kreegs and
yes,
Barl Breakbones. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Oh, you're muted, Jet.
It's because Judy was being loud and I was trying to ask her to be quiet.
Oh, I see. Sorry. All I saw was you mute, your mouth moved, and I was like, oh no, Jet.
She wants to play a game of Uno.
It is a fantastic game. Man, that game does go on for a long time though. We played that
Sometimes.
quick sidebar. We played that on family vacation, and we played a game for like 50 minutes because everybody was too stubborn to let somebody else win, and it just goes on and on and on.
That really is what it is. You just gotta let somebody win.
Eventually, yeah. It rarely does somebody win against your will.
Yeah. No, Jet, you did say something about a fortitude save about this negative level.
It'll be the following day. To get rid of it, it does require a fortitude save. A fortitude save that is well within Ava's capability. The reason that Endbringer was brought as low as it was is because it was literally millennia. Up front, 10,000 years of having its life force drained. There were natural ones rolled along the way.
That's a lot of gears.
There were natural ones that happened occasionally, and negative levels ended up sticking after a while.
Yeah, I imagine.
Well,
Ava rolled a 29.
You super duper make it.
18 on the die.
So you can go back to Turtleback Ferry. You can rest overnight. That will be your roll that you make in the morning, and you shrug off that negative level.
My spell slots, my beautiful spell slots.
You have spell slots again, Tom.
Fantastic.
Admittedly, full disclosure, I only used one of my 4th level spell slots, which surprised me. But we didn't have a lot of fights that seemed to necessitate me bringing in the troll fight. Really spooked me, and so I popped a 4th level.
Well, to be fair, this group is unusually well equipped to deal with foes with regeneration.
Yes, we are.
Ava has the best sleep she's had in years.
Yeah.
I mean, she saved an entire region.
Yeah, she deserves it.
A hero's rest.
Exactly.
Honestly, I feel like when you sleep, you sleep to the when you're asleep, you don't remember much of it beyond a glowing golden light and the sound of church bells chiming.
Ava mentions it in the morning. She's like, I dreamed in Celestial and I don't even know how to speak it.
That's odd. I wonder what it meant.
Jacinto smiled enigmatically. So, Jet, do I understand you in that I should cross all? I have 3 level 3 summons now, not 4 level 3 summons.
We will replace that summon with something else. I'm thinking of homebrewing as something a little special there because you were willing, Jacinto and you were willing to make that sacrifice.
Okay.
But that's something we'll talk about between games.
Yeah, that sounds great. Cool.
So yeah, you can go back to Turtleback Ferry. You can rest. Finn can go to the local armorer.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it needs to be done.
I suppose.
You're a frontliner, and you have so many credits.
I guess I'll spend my credits on armor.
Buy something with lots of armor slots because we have so many armor upgrades to give you.
I want something that looks pretty, though. It's got to be stylish.
Skyfire. Look up the Skyfire Legion armor. It's made to be pretty as heck. It has a force field instead of a helmet. It's gilded all to heck. It's made to work with wings.
Nice.
Skyfire Legion originated on Triaxis with the Riforians and the Dragonkin.
You know, I was reading that somebody wants a podcast about lore, Tom.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Where were you reading this?
That was me. I posted.
I know.
I posted on the Paizo Discord. I was like, hey, does anybody do a podcast? I know some of you all do like YouTube streams, YouTube videos, but does anyone do a podcast so I could just listen to Starfinder or Pathfinder lore on the go easily? And people are like, that's a good idea. But no one's taking...
We should get on that, actually.
We should.
I promptly love talking about Starfinder lore. and we could do like a deep dive on each planet in a week or something like that, and then in near space, same thing, like all the different planets, their histories and stuff.
Count me in.
Yeah.
that'd
I
be
was
great.
gonna say, why are you asking other people? Tom and Leif are like the best people we know to do this.
Let me just grab down Pact Worlds. Oh no, hold on. Never mind. We've got other things to talk about. We can talk about this off
Oh
air.
man, that's actually a really exciting idea.
Someone, Butstubble suggested lore standard action.
There we go. See, we got a name and everything. Thank you,
Standard
Butstubble.
action, non-standard lore.
I was just going to say,
Non-standard lore.
I mean, non-standard lore would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that a lot. Damn it, I'm in.
The upside is we don't necessarily have to stream that. We could just do audio recordings.
Yeah, no, I don't have time to. Yeah, I don't have time to contribute to another stream, but I do have time to.
No more streams.
We could just bull flame for an hour about, and it doesn't have to be like 2 to 4 hours either. We could just bull flame about
like
some world's history for a half hour.
A half hour to 45 minutes would be amazing.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, man.
Cool.
I'm excited for the episode about Apostate. I love that planet so much. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
I want the diaspora.
Who doesn't want diaspora?
Anyway.
Back to this game. Back to this show that we're doing. We can plan things like that later.
Oh, a shiny new project.
Oh no, they're gone.
So yeah, Finn can spend credits, can buy armor, can look at the loot sheet.
Tell you what, I'll even look up some cool heavy armor. Although the Skyfire Legion armor is very choice. You should probably just get that.
That's basically what Gus has. Although I just
We have
realized
that in
that
our.
you don't have it on your loot sheet, but it's something you can just do. Nethys Skyfire Legion armor.
Oh no, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it's level 9. You might.
There might be a.
That's a
higher
level 13
version.
one.
Ooh, the level 13 one is just out of our price range and out of purchasing ability. Something you might also like is Kyokor plating. If we want to do another quick deep lore dive, Kyokors are Titans from the planet of the Titans and the people.
I can't remember. It's not the Phantomites. It's the.
They start with a D. Daimosh.
Daimosh?
No.
Alien Archive 2, Alien Archive 3. Maybe clicking on the armor. Daimalko. The Daimalkans are these people. They basically come from Attack on Titan, the planet, where this planet has been ravaged by Titans in like this ever-going cycle. And the Titans are these Kyokor. They are terribly horrifying, massive gargantuan creatures that to the point where there was a Starfinder Society scenario where you ventured into a Kyokor. They are that big in order to retrieve something. Spoilers.
But Tom and Leif, you both almost interacted with one that was shrunk down to tiny size in Threefold Conspiracy.
That's right. We did.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, that was terrifying. But yeah, so Kyokor plating is heavy armor that is built to move like light armor. It's very, it has a high max dex bonus, only speed adjustment of -5, pretty good armor slots. It's really good heavy armor.
You're basically wearing Godzilla is what you're doing.
Yeah, and it's super cool. It is very pretty. It's as pretty as you want to describe it. It's just, think like sort of vaguely demonic. Yeah. So Kyokors, they're cool. This has been your second lore dive.
I went to look up the armor and I found the Kyokor first. CR20, ladies and gentlemen.
Yup.
I'm gonna post a picture of someone has done a cosplay of Godzilla turned into armor. I'm gonna post that picture into the Starfinder chat so you can see how I'm picturing Kyokor armor. Granted, this one has a Godzilla head, but whatever.
I mean, if you're going to go for Kyokor plating, you may as well go for one level lower, get a minus get one less to KAC and just get the advanced Iridishell armor, the best at heavy armor in the game. No armor check
Meg would
penalties,
know.
no speed adjustments, none of that nasty nonsense you get from other heavy armor.
Any last minute purchases any of you want to make, not just Finn, feel free to do so. Turtleback Ferry is not a massive metropolitan area, though. I am letting Finn do the level +2 if they want to, if he wants to, because the armor upgrade has been due for a very long time, and you could have done it along
What's
the
the
way.
typical?
Besides, Turtleback Ferry is known for its armorer. You know,
It does have a dedicated armorer.
Yeah, people come in from miles around to Turtleback Ferry. I would dare even say, space miles around to buy armor from the famous armorer of Turtleback Ferry, the Turtleback Armorer. What's the turtle people?
Oh,
They're not a Telia. There actually is a Turtleback armorer.
Well, my headcanon jet. No, it's fine.
They're an orc. They're Irontooth Jorveni.
It's okay because because he's got a Telia apprentice he's taken on for just the summer.
I was gonna say Telia spouse.
Oh. Well, it's your world, Jet. I'm just living in it.
That, or he's gotten some of the Telia species graphs, and he's like, I want to be a Telia.
Oh, my lord.
Oh, no.
I want to be living armor.
Yeah, Ava doesn't have, swiftly changing the subject here, Ava doesn't have many credits. She somehow managed to lose about, 17,000 of them when she found that Xenolash at the bottom of her bag that she's totally had forever.
How strange.
There's a hole in her bag that she's patched since then, but that was an expensive loss.
So you're saying Ava's current wealth on the party loot sheet is incorrect?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I'm in the midst of upgrading and updating.
So we should settle this once and for all, and I am doing this on air. Lapis and Leif decide who wants the Ring of Resistance Mark II, the Silicon Armor Casing, the Thermal Capacitor Mark I, the other Thermal Capacitor Mark I.
How about that Ring of Resistance?
Electrostatic Harness Field Mark II, and Deflective Reinforcement. Wait, we have 2 Silicon Armor Casings? That can't be right.
What is Silicon
supposed
Armor?
to be the one. I've only let you have one Silicon Armor casing.
The second one, say no more. Silicon Armor Casing is kind of cool. You can expect it comes with 10 charges, which recharge when you are in full sunlight, and you can spend charges to power up a melee weapon attack by 1d6 fire. I want to say off the top of my head, you can spend charges
more than that. I think it might be 2d6. It's really good. It's bizarrely good.
I can also use it to superpower my spellcasting by increasing the DC by spending 4 points of the 10. But it's only
go ahead and take that.
1. I can take it?
No, I said I'll go ahead and take that.
Oh, okay. All right. All I heard was go ahead and take that.
Ava's going to supercharge her throwing shuriken is what's going to happen.
Okay. Can I have the Ring of Resistance Mark II?
Yes. Go for it.
Okay. That's cool. Because I think I got a Mark I right now. You should also
take that Mark II electrostatic harness.
What does it do?
If you get hit, people get zapped.
Deals electric damage to people that hit you in melee, and it gives you 10 electric resistance, I think.
I think so.
Correct. Mark II is 10. Yeah.
I feel like the damage is 2d6 at Mark II.
Yeah, it should be.
And then Deflective Reinforcement is DR5 as an armor upgrade. So.
Right, hang on.
Yeah,
what was that thing? I was in the middle of typing other things. Sorry. Electrostatic
Field Mark II.
Okay, cool.
Excellent. And then so the Deflective Reinforcement. Does Ava have Deflective Reinforcement yet?
No, I don't think so. I don't have it on her sheet. It's not accounted for in credits, so no.
She might as well take that because Finn's taken a couple things, and I usually cast Defrex Hardiness on Finn.
Yeah, I would be happy to take that. What was that?
I was saying that, yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. I shall do this thing.
And then for Flash, we have a glove of storage. Glove of storing, which is like a null space chamber, but for one weapon that you wear. So you can summon a weapon as a swift action and hide it as a swift action, which is pretty neat.
I think Lohan should take that.
The cannon
Yeah.
to the glove.
Was that a long arm?
Yeah, why not? If it's, I distinctly remembered.
I think it fits up to long arms. I don't think it can do anything bigger than a long arm. It might also be a one bulk restriction, though. I can't remember.
I seem to remember it drops on getting a two-handed melee weapon.
Let's
into
just
it at one
do
point.
a Google. It's
No, I'd rather
Yeah.
speculate, Jet.
Wild speculations.
Glove story. Well, no larger than 2 bulk in the hand wearing it. You can command a glove of storing to shrink the held item to microscopic size and negligible bulk and merge it with the palm of the glove. Returning the item to its original scale requires a mere snap of the fingers. You can activate it by swift or move action.
Well, then I will take it because I can totally put a plasma bolter in there.
and
Love
don't
it.
forget you're gonna tuck those fancy frilly reckless gloves in your pocket or something.
I'm wearing the reckless gloves. Thank you much. I have frilly reckless gloves, and I have a fire silk gown, but it is hung in the Heartbreaker, as we all know.
By the way, mechanically, if you wish to, you do have the remains of that dead Endbringer devil that did not discorporate. I will allow you to take those, and that will be BP for upgrading the Heartbreaker because you're taking starship components from an Endbringer devil.
Yay!
Do this.
Nice.
Fueled by the devil.
Yep.
The Heartbreaker.
It fits its it fits its aesthetic.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
I like that.
I just thought of that.
So
today.
many armors.
Very cool. All right, so shopping spree said and done. Jacinto doesn't buy anything. He
There's so many
is
different armors. Does anybody have a good suggestion?
Kyoko
Leif
playing-
Tom suggested Kyokor. Leif suggested Iridichel. Either are good choices.
Okay.
You
I think
should.
Red Shell has more armor slots, upgrade slots rather.
Iridichel has 3 armor upgrade slots.
Because I could do a Riddichel Superior if I got enough armors.
But is it within
level
your
+2.
level
Yeah.
+2? Is it level 12
It
or
is.
lower?
It's 12.
Okay.
Where's the sheet that tells me how many credits I have? I know you guys have it stored somewhere weird.
It's pinned in Series 3. It is?
Behind the curtain, or
Yes.
Yes.
how do I find the pin?
Mostly because now that we don't trust you, audience members, it's just we don't trust anyone to touch our loot sheet.
How do I find pins?
Here,
How do you
I'm
find-
just going to share the link again.
Sorry. I'm,
It's fine.
No worries, no worries.
It's fine.
According to this sheet, you have just
oh,
enough.
dang. I'm actually a little bit shy.
No, you have just enough to buy the superior arena shell. Look
It's
at projected.
42, 250.
Look
at
at
your projected wealth.
Well,
Hey,
Because-
foregathers, thank
Oh.
you.
okay, cool.
We're being now followed by someone.
Hey,
Do you want to minus the cost of it for me so I don't mess up the lovely, lovely sheet?
I will do that. So I'll tell you what I'm doing as well. I'm just putting an equals into the current wealth. So now it equals 37,000. Blah 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 minus the 42,250. And now it's gonna show up as a negative in the current wealth, but in projected wealth, which is when we sell all of our stuff, you will still have positive. So you're in the black. You're cool.
You can put Inheritor's Grace on the to sell list,
Neat. We'll do that. All right.
I suppose. The cost on that was 4,450. Just so you know.
I have made it so.
You got that armor from why
I
am I
did.
drawing a blank
You
on
stole
her
it
name?
off
You
a-
got
off
it
an
from the
enemy.
Azamar who was trying to become infernal.
And it was so pretty.
So
Oh,
long
kept it.
ago.
That was book 1. That was book 1.
No.
Just shh.
Oh my god. All right, it's
We'll
fine.
get
It's
you a
fine.
glamour.
Plug those numbers in and tell us that big beefy AC that Finn has now. So Redishell's what, like plus 18, plus 19 or something at that level?
It's gonna be 17 and 18.
17, 18, plus 10 is 27, 28, plus your dex mod.
Which I know
I
is
gotta
very
go. Hang
low.
on.
Ah.
All right. Finn's going to be much harder to hit now. Oh, we have a second ring of resistance if anybody wants that. It's Mark II, but we've probably done enough loot sharing today.
Non-standard loot.
Non-standard blank is our brand, and I like it.
Oh yeah, no, this stuff is good. The more expensive suits of a British shell not only offer more protection, but feature elaborate designs with gold or silver trim and embedded jewels. I dig.
Very shiny.
I can
Ava
get some
pries
white gold
that
on
off.
there.
if Ava buys her in a shell, she pries off that. All right.
If Ava comes trying to fire things off of my armor.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
problem.
imagining Ava has her in a shell, and she's like,
She
none of
doesn't
the
buy,
gaudy
she
stuff. Yeah.
Finn's into gaudy stuff.
All right. So you went to Turtleback Ferry. You went on a shopping spree. You got some cool stuff. Would you like? And you shoved the Endbringer components into the Heartbreaker, I imagine. Would you like to head to the Hook?
Let's
Let's
us to
head
the
to the
Hook,
Hook.
Hey, why is it called the Hook, Jet? Is it because ogres and their gross bodies like to use hooks to attack people with?
It's not called the Hook because of that. It's called the Hook because it's an oddly shaped piece of rock floating through space, and it looks roughly hook-shaped.
Okay.
Let me paste some tokens and move the player banner. And you're gonna want to go up and to the left.
Up and to the left. I see us.
And I am. You get into the Heartbreaker. You fly out and around where the space debris is thinner, and you slowly make your way to the Hook. And I imagine I'm putting you on this map, but there's a little bit that's going to happen before you officially get to exactly where your tokens are. Okay.
All right.
Let me pull up my notes. That is not my notes. Bad. That is where my notes are located. Dun dun dun. All right. Where are you? All right. So, as you approach this bit of rock, your scanners pick up a few things. Not even going to have you roll for it. These are going to be very obvious things. Their emissions and energy signatures are not hidden. They're very crudely manufactured, but the Hook is just a gargantuan piece of ice and rock floating in the void of space. It looks as cruel as the lives its denizens live. Near the twisted peak of this asteroid, you see pollutants being belched into the void of space with incredible vigor. You can land the Heartbreaker at the very bottom, the base of the Hook, with no problem. But if you want to fly to the crown of the Hook where the pollutants are being belched. Oh, puppy. You would be met with numerous space defenses. There are cannons slowly swiveling and moving and watching the surrounding region, just peppered all along. Basically, once you get about a quarter of the way up, they start appearing, and then there's more as it goes up and more as it goes up. And there's a lot of like anti-spacecraft stuff peppered haphazardly, honestly, all around this rock. The more you get closer to the top, where the pollutants are being belched, where you suspect the entrance to the clan hold is, to deter spacecraft. If you would like to land at the bottom, you're more than welcome to, or you can try and brave those defenses and possibly get shot to heck.
How lucky is Lahan feeling? Is the real question.
Oh, so lucky.
This is a very large asteroid, and I'm letting you know there are literally hundreds of cannons.
Oof.
Where did
Well, I guess we can land.
cannons?
Based on what the scanner's showing you, they built them. They're not super refined. That's why you can pick them up so easily on your scanners. They don't have a lot of shielding. Their energy signature is very blatant.
Yeah.
And to be fair, while these ogres have favored the ogre hook, they have also demonstrated that they have access to various plasma weapons, various sonic weapons,
Yeah.
fairly decent armor. If crudely manufactured, very effective.
Well, what do you think is best, Lahan? You're our pilot. Maybe what do you think? Should we land further away or try and run the guns? That's probably not the way that term is supposed to be used, but
I mean, we can certainly try, but it's probably safer to just land away from them.
all right. Let's land further away.
You got it, boss.
I am the boss, aren't I? I'm the captain.
No, you're the magic
Am I the
officer.
captain? No,
You're the
Finn's
magic
the captain.
officer.
No,
Okay,
Finn's the-
mechanically, I don't know if you guys have a captain, but I think if anyone is the actual captain of the ship narratively, it would be Lahan, seeing as how she owns it.
And I'm not in charge though. I mean, if I wanted to take my toys and go home, I could.
Nick's the pilot. I know Jacinto is the magic officer. Ava, I think, was acting as chief mate, and I think Finn might have been the gunner, or we're flip-flopping those two.
Yeah. I don't think Finn was. I don't think we had Lapis for the one episode that we've done a Starship Combat.
I thought the whale.
It was an
Well-
owl. Finn was there.
Owl.
We weren't sure that Lapis was going to make that one, so you guys planned around not having.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I just remember Jacinto had a mystic gun that he shot, and that was pretty.
You had a very intimidating gun. So if you're going to land further away, to make it to the top of the hook, I would like a survival check so that you can navigate through the various canyons and nooks and crannies and avoid detection.
Okay.
Survival, you say?
Survival.
Jacinto.
How's a 33 do ya?
Ooh.
A 33 is fantastic and way more than I needed, which is great because what that means is instead of taking way longer, you manage to very cautiously, very carefully lead the group up to the top using, Artania's climb speed, your jetpacks, various other things. Plus, you're in the void of space. You can just push off and drift for a second and then grab on. And it takes you about 3 hours to get to the top of the hook. But you do so without any of the guns noticing you, without any of that being drawn down upon you, all because you know how to navigate hostile and unfriendly mountainous terrain. But over the course of that, I mean, you freaking aced that check. I'm not going to throw anything else at you. It takes you 3 hours to get to the top. You do so, and you avoid being detected by any of those gun emplacements.
Nice.
And what you see before you, I will describe. There is a constant fog clinging to the surface of this inelegantly joined starship hulls that serve as an entrance to the inside of the hook. Much like the goblins back on Sandpoint with their scrap fortress that was pieced together from bits of starships that were either broken up and tossed into the junkyard, or pieces stolen from the Valdemar family shipyard. These ogres have taken some of the ships that they have conquered and turned them into a exterior bulkhead or hatch before you could gain entrance to the inside of the asteroid. There are smog and pollutants being belched forth rhythmically from smokestacks that are just punching out of the rock surface above you. And the smog is just so very thick that it's blocking the stars from your sight at this point.
Well, that's another reason that we don't like these guys.
I have tokens that I forgot to put on the map, and I apologize for that. And you guys are coming up quietly enough. Quietly, you're in the void of space. You're actively trying to avoid detection. When you get closer, I'd like for you to roll a stealth check while I bring these tokens on, and then I'll describe what you see before you in even more detail.
Ugh. Did they notice us yet?
Ava intentionally
That's why I'm asking for stealth checks.
Ava is intentionally further away from her companions, like a reasonable distance, and we will determine that's enough here.
You absolutely know that I'm just going to bungle that.
Oof. I
might as well just fly directly at them.
What the heck just happened? Stand by. I'm reloading Star-Lords because all of my image files just disappeared for some reason.
No good.
Well, in the meantime, Artani the Danger Spider is
How much do you
surprisingly
want extra?
Probably the same.
Okay.
Yeah, already.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I never said the number. Artani got a 26.
Artania is two stealthier than Ava.
2 stealthier.
Just 2 stealthier.
It's the
Just
name
yes,
of
All
our.
right, I tried to stealth.
Oh, it's because for some reason it switched between my 2 accounts, one of which just has player access and one of which has GM access.
Ah, okay.
It's actually not as bad as I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got double digits. That's nice.
Come on.
So, in other news, Leif, the name of our buddy cop movie is going to be 2 Stealthier, or maybe that's going to be the subtitle. We're going to jump right to the sequel of the movies.
Yes.
I think it should be too stealthy, too kind, like Too Fast, Too Furious.
Just got to talk about family all the time.
Nah, the antithesis of family, which is, I don't know.
Should be a wholesome movie about a wholesome plant boy and his questionable partner.
Mm.
That would actually be a fantastic buddy cop movie.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we have. Sorry, Jet. Let us know when you just cut us off when you are ready to go. But we'll just.
No, you're fine. I have placed the tokens, but I'm also resizing your tokens because you guys are giants on this map.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Yeah, just chill in
Yeah.
silence. I'll stay a giant though, if you'll let me. That sounds fun.
No, that's okay. Get some power armor and we'll talk about it.
Ooh, ooh. And there is now an alternate reality where Jacinto was actually a power armor soldier something.
Oh no.
Just a tiny little plant boy smoking a big cigar in a suit of power armor.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'm infatuated with power armor. I just want it to work a little better than it does right now.
I mean,
And-
I want to try the mech
Yeah.
combat rules sometimes. I have not gotten to.
They were okay. It's basically Starship Combat, the Land Edition.
I mean, listening to it, it seemed super fun when Cosmic Crit did it.
It is
why did
also as it is it. I'm sure it's largely dependent on player investment in that concept.
Yeah. So 30, 24, 26, and 10. 10, you say. Oh. Oh. Oh.
It's okay. Ava's like over here somewhere.
Yeah, the digital dice are so against you all. I rolled an 18 and a 19 on the die. They see all of you.
Rude.
That is rude.
And you can tell just as you were attempting to sneak up before they move in any sort of hostile fashion, before we have to go into initiative, they were paying so much active attention to their surroundings, unlike most of the ogres you've seen who've been a little bit lackadaisical. I would even go so far as to say that you guys could make sense motive checks to see what their demeanor is, if you wish to.
37.
37. Yeah, they are on edge and slightly afraid based on their body language.
That tracks with the fact
I mean, we
that
are
there's
like
also been-
murder incarnate.
there's also been a hostile takeover with Barl
The dice like
Breakbones.
That's true.
Okay.
The dice like me. I got a 15 on a will based check.
Ooh, I get to do a thing. Oh, where's it at?
Initiatize me.
Add counter.
I saw the nat 20, got very excited. Then I saw that it wasn't mine, and I'm still excited for my friend.
Sorry for stealing your joy there, Tom.
It's fine, friend. I'm never destined to go first as Jacinto, and that's okay.
Honestly, like, as I've gotten older, I've cared less and less about initiative. I'm like, whatever happens, happens. I don't really care. I used to be like, oh, I have to go first.
See, I like going first, except when I'm playing Medlon, because then I need to think of what to do as a spellcaster. So really, it's when I'm a spellcaster, it's fine for me to go last-ish, because then it gives me time to.
It really depends on what you're trying to do with your character, right? Like if you're trying to be a party buff, you know, you want to go first. If you want to, like, you know, kind of, spell casting just in general, better to go later, because then you have time to see where the battlefield is going and then set up your spells accordingly. Being a murder munchkin, you know, you just go whenever. And
you just go whenever. People are going to die in
murder.
Oh, somebody just peeked in from the darkness and then peeked back out.
Hello.
They were like, oh, nope.
Yeah, let's move you guys just a touch closer, because I'd like you to actually be able to see your foes that you were sneaking up upon. There you go.
That makes sense.
I need to roll my initiative because I was bad. No, I don't need to talk to myself. I need to click on that. Roll initiative. I'm not even going to bother counting turns. This fight cannot last long enough to warrant that. These are fairly big and beefy guys and gals and non-binary foes. They look robust, like some of the more robust Kreeg ogres you fought previously. You did not get a surprise round. Your sneaks did do the fail. But Ava gets to respond first. And you see them standing guard before a airlock door that's been placed into this big, giant metal wall made of, again, starship hull chunks that have been welded together.
Oh, man. Ava's just going to go ahead and activate her jetpack and use it to... she doesn't even have to do that. She's just going to run straight up to this guy here, and...
You're going to run in 0G.
She's gonna use her jetpack while her feet are on the ground in 0G.
There we go.
To fly up here, and she's going to attack.
You would probably also have your full resolve points as well, Ava.
I will change that here in a second. You are correct, though.
And Finn, you would be fully healed. And full resolve points.
Oh, heck, I do want that. Those.
She flies up and takes a slash at this this guy with a flash shuriken. 30 to hit EAC for 39 fire damage.
That's super duper hits because you're mean. You're mean as Ava, and you have dangerous weapons.
Yeah, well, and you guys will have noticed this attack in particular looked a little interesting as she goes to swing, like this light kind of reflects over her armor and down her arm and into the attack as she attacks, and it dealt an extra 2d6 damage because of that.
You're already making use of that silicon armor.
Absolutely,
missing.
and I am gonna make up a proper attack for it here on its own, but I didn't have the time for that.
Fair. So Ava flew over and then stabbed. That ogre gets to respond in kind. This ogre was holding a dashko and is going to whip it around and full attack Ava.
That doesn't sound right.
What doesn't sound right?
An ogre holding a doshko?
Yeah, unfortunately, I believe that this ogre missed a 22 and a 27 versus EAC.
The 27 will hit.
Oh, 24 electric and fire damage as this yellow star plasma dashko strikes true.
All right, 24, except for not really, because it's really minus 14.
Woof.
Thank you. Reduced fire damage.
That was its full turn. It's now Lahan's opportunity to interact with the world around her.
Snap my fingers to bring out the plasma bolter and take a shot. Oh wait, move action to combat track that ogre that Ava's attacking, and then shoot.
Right, mechanic.
31 to hit EAC.
That super duper hits.
Sweet. 17 electric and fire.
Ouch. You guys have leveled up a few times since you were first introduced to these creatures when they were a much tougher fight.
Yeah.
It is now Ogre number 1's turn. Ogre number 1 does not like that their companion is getting shot. And please tell me past case thought ahead. Past case thought ahead. This ogre, dashko in hand, fires up its jetpack and starts flying this way. Which I think activating the jetpack is a move action, correct?
No.
No? You can just use it? Alright, then it's going to double move. And get all the way to there.
Oh, that makes things a lot easier. Thank you so much.
Oh no, I don't like that you're happy about it. Jacinto, it's your turn.
Because Jacinto is going to direct Artania to take a bite out of this thing, but not before he burns a. We'll throw a second level spell. Yeah. So, Song of the Spheres. Everybody within 60 feet of me. So sadly, Ava, you are just out of it for now. But maybe we'll fix that next time. And then Artania moves over here and is going to take a single bite at this jerk. I do have Song of the Spheres. Yes. Excellent. Bite. 30 versus KAC for 19 points of piercing damage.
What? No, I don't like that.
Yeah, well.
And
everybody has fast healing 1 for the duration of this Song of Spheres, except again, Ava. But, it's really not going to affect anybody except Artania, honestly. And that is me.
Finn.
You are muted, Lapis, if you are talking.
Oh,
There we go.
I
I
just
was
saw
muted,
that
sorry.
Lapis's video disappeared.
Yeah, I was trying to let you guys know that I might have messed up everybody because my video disappeared. I apologize for that. I was trying to get my webcam to work.
No big
and it
deal.
was being a jerk. Which It's just a jerk thing to do.
Live show. Play goes sometimes.
Hmm.
Tom is a groovy butt. I'm a Leif.
No, I'm actually Lahan, in fact.
Yeah. Tom's me.
Yeah.
How far out am I? This is
Leif's
really-
Lapis.
Lapis,
If you can get any
are-
closer to your mic, Lapis, you're coming through a little quiet right now.
Here we go. How about that?
Yep.
Is that-
A little better, yeah.
Perfect.
You're only a guarded step away from one ogre if you want to get to that ogre.
yeah,
'Cause
but
one
I
of them
could
charged
charge
you.
this one.
You could. You could
could
very
do
well
a
charge that one.
charge.
You could just leave the two squishies and their little spider friend in the
I
back
do have a
line.
quick question though. Finn's been relying on
Yes,
on his
spider.
wings. Did Finn also take a jetpack? Because how else is Finn moving through space? You're in 0G right now, Finn.
Sheer force of will is not an answer for this, is it?
It is not. Nethys Starfinder 0G.
I've got heavy armor. Does that keep me weighted down?
Nope.
Or am I just floating? Am I screwed?
No, you're not screwed. You're not screwed. But moving in 0G requires some stuff.
Yeah, it's like an acrobatics or a reflex.
You can move in a given direction, and you continue to move in that direction at the same speed as at the beginning of its turn each round without taking any action. You must move the full distance unless it's able to change its motion by latching onto an object or creature, pushing off in a new direction, or creating thrust of some kind, all of which are considered move actions. If you run into a solid object during the movement, you have to succeed at a DC 20 acrobatics or athletics check to safely stop. Failure means you gain the off-kilter condition. If you run into another creature during your movement, both creatures must attempt a DC 20 acrobatics or athletics check to avoid getting put off-kilter. A creature anchored to a solid object, such as by boot clamps, which are available.
That sounds
to
great
be-
for charging.
Yeah, I don't think you can charge, but you can just push yourself in that direction and drift.
Oh dang. Can I guided step into 0G without worrying about things?
You can. Well, what it is, you can push off in that direction. I don't think you can guarded push. You can push off in the direction of that Krieg ogre, and you will bump into it, and then you'll have to make an acrobatics check or athletics check to just safely stop against it, and then you could punch it or whatever.
Alright, let's see athletics. I'm actually good at athletics.
There you go. So you nudge
Yeah,
yourself
27.
against it, and you kind of get slam into it, and you're like, oh. And I don't even know
Still
if
kind
it.
of slam? Even
I
with
don't
the
know if
27?
it has to make the check because it has the jetpack, and it's kind of in control of itself.
Well, can't she stop herself? Like, it's a
Wait.
27 enough to control?
Yeah.
How
I
high is the
believe so.
save?
It's a 20. It's a DC 20.
So she stops where
Okay.
she
I
wants
think-
to.
Yeah.
I was going to be very, very alarmed if 27 didn't make it.
Yeah. No, you definitely made the check. It's just you bump into each other, and it says both creatures need to make it, but this other creature has the jetpack, and I was trying to figure out if that creature needed to make it or be off kilter.
Oh, wait, why do I bump into it if I've got...
You don't
If I
have a handhold to stop
saved.
yourself, so you would have had to have pushed yourself at it, and then what would have stopped
Okay.
you would be you hitting it.
I got it.
I thought that's what
As long as you're adjacent to a solid surface, the boots on armor include a functionality that can anchor your feet to a solid surface in a zero gravity environment, allowing you to orient yourself or return to normal footing when needed.
Awesome. I must have missed that. Thank you so much for catching that. Then you're all good.
Oh, I mean, it was a thing a player caught for me ages ago.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's just buried in the armor
Well, I
section.
punched him.
for rule book.
It is, yeah. Much like your armor has a comm unit that all of us missed the first reading.
Yep.
Yeah,
I will bump
20
into him this time, and then Lahan can telepath me that information, and I will not bump into things next time.
Fair.
There you
25
go.
does hit exactly 31 damage. Ouch, you're hurting my ogre.
I love the idea of Lahan being like, Finn, your armor has, because she is the tech.
And then Finn's
Use
like,
your mag boots,
Finn
idiot!
just got-
and then Finn's like, oh, and like taps a button on his wrist, and like little like bird-like talons just flip out from the boots to grab the ground or something. Ava, we're back to the top.
Meanwhile, Ava absolutely when she went, she used her jetpack, but she like landed with her boots on the ogre and stabbed into it, so she's like crouching like at a 90-degree angle on the ogre.
Yeah. Don't you have a climb speed now too?
Her athletics has a plus 19 to it, so I don't think she could possibly fail the DC 20 athletics check. So she's just at home in 0G.
Old Auntie Ava.
I'm graviton tuning as well, just by the by.
Oh, graviton, cool. So Ava, what do you want to do? You're standing on an ogre's chest.
Full attack.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a 23 and a 24 to hit EAC.
Oh, those both hit. So that's 64 damage.
64 damage.
Tell me how you kill the ogre.
She's on, like, she flew at this ogre, she kicked it in the chest, she stabbed it last turn, and then on this turn, she activates her little, like, boot harpoon, she, like, skewers into it, and then she just stabs it 2 more times, each time with a little flash from her armor going into it. And she just kind of decapitates it.
Say what you will about that movie, but I almost picture Ava like an old lady version of Achilles from Troy.
I'll take it.
Which I think would just be an old Achilles. Both carry themselves with a certain assurance and grace and have long flowy hair in my head, even though I think the picture depicts an afro.
It's just curly hair is what she has in real life. She's also not. I would not be playing as a light complexion person. Be playing a black person. No, she has Italian colored skin, and that's about as close as we can get.
See, I either pictured her as the art, or in my head she was very very tanned and just like weather beaten because she lived outside in the woods.
It's that.
But Ogre 2 is dead, so they're just going to spurt blood into vacuum, and it's going to crystallize and freeze. Lahan, you get to act, and you got an ogre in front of you, and you can do a murder, I imagine.
It feels something appropriate. I definitely meant to say olive skin, not Italian skin, but Italian olive. It's the same thing, right?
Italians are made of olives. Everyone knows this.
You are what you eat. You are what you eat.
Can confirm, am Italian.
Made of olives.
Perhaps.
I'm going to combat track the one in front of me and try to do a murder. It's only an 18 to hit.
No,
EAC.
you also clicked on the wrong gun again, I think. But that still wouldn't make it hit.
The attack bonus is the same.
Yeah.
But Song of Spheres
Song of Spheres would make it a 19.
That would still not hit.
versus EAC.
That's nope.
Oh well.
We tried.
It was indeed a try.
I'll have you know that first attack Ava did hit the EAC exactly.
Oh, rude. All right, well, I passed my turn.
Kreeg Ogre gets to act, and someone just punched it in the face, so it swings around, and it's going to do a full attack with its Dashko. Probably not hit Finn, because Finn has shiny new armor. Oh, maybe. A 19 on the die and a 16 on the die. So 34 and a 31 versus EAC.
Yes, and yes.
So,
Betties will always get.
So 28 and 28 electric and fire.
Nice.
Finn has 2 new armor upgrades. Finn, you have an electrostatic harness, which gives you electricity resistance 10. And then you also have that thermal capacitor, which gives you fire resistance 5. So take 15 off of both of those damage rolls.
I already had fire resistance equal to, I think, my level, because I've got that resistance feat.
Oh, then you're even better. Then
So you
fire
basically are
resistance
taking 8 from each one of those hits instead of 28 from each of those hits.
gross.
And then you have the electrostatic field, which does 2d6 with each strike. Is there any save, or is it just 2d6?
No, it's just 2d6.
So Lapis, roll 46 damage for me.
Really not happy about this.
Huh?
15.
Oh,
Oh,
you
So
rolled
the
48. It's 46.
Next, let's try it again. 15 still.
15 damage. Ah!
I love when that happens.
You see it screaming in agony as it's electrocuted through the length of its Dashko, but you don't hear it because, again, void of space.
Well, he doesn't hear Finn laughing as his resistance take effect and it gets zapped.
Oh, that was a mean plasma weapons useless against Finn. Note to self.
Yeah, love that. Love that combo.
Jacinto, your turn.
Jacinto takes down the counter on the Song of Spears once more, and we have one more round of that. And then we'll tell Artania to bite once more. Artania, the dangerous spider. That is a 33 to hit for another 19 points of piercing damage.
Ouch. Such a dangerous spider. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Much wow. Then, this guy's still up. Jacinto will...
He looks so bad. Oh, I forgot to do a thing with him.
Jacinto is going to mind thrust this jerk.
No.
At level 2, please make me a will saving throw.
I made a critical error here because I, the GM, forgot to do a thing that I wrote down that I should have. This is bad. I rolled a 1 for a total of 10.
You die. Please take 29. Ooh, such good damage. Please take 29 points of mind bullets.
Blood just starts pouring out of its nostrils and his ears, and you can see it a little bit through the faceplate on the armor.
Yep.
It's like crying blood as well. You
You
can see it rethinking its life decisions.
Yeah. Well, that's me. Over to you, Solarian, Finn, friend.
Nice. More Gravitana too.
I need so many people to miss attacks right now is what I need.
Well, let's see what happens when I full attack him. Directly in the legs. I was gonna say right in the face, but that's too predictable.
Oh!
You got me! His legs.
What you didn't realize was that he had weak legs as a child, so when he grew up, he had heavily armored above and beyond any other part of his anatomy, just the legs.
Oh no!
Just heavily armor your legs and skip leg day, bro.
Well, no, I'm not saying that he skipped leg day, but as a child, he had like a medical condition, and he overcame it, much like Forrest Gump overcoming his leg braces. But then he became protective of his legs, and he heavily armored them. But he ignores other days. His legs are probably almost like 3 times bigger than his arms. He's so swole.
Wow, that's so brave.
So, mechanically speaking, dear listener, what happened was Finn just scored 2 natural ones in a row.
Yeah, so unlikely. That's what, a 1 in 400 chance or something?
Give or take, yeah.
It's because I said the dice liked me today.
Yeah.
Ava looks like threw a shuriken.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to click that button prematurely. And this is what I got for it.
I swear this never happens.
A big fat miss.
Would you be moving 30 feet back towards the group and then throwing that shuriken since you only threw 1? Nope. Okay.
She is clinging to this dead ogre, and then she lets fly with the shuriken, which
misses.
Yeah. Do we have any +1s in the pipe?
Nope. Not a 1.
We have a reroll.
Not a 1.
Ah, well then.
Which is fun. Is that shuriken's just going to keep sailing off into the void of space?
Yep.
Oh no.
And you're going to have to brave the array of automated cannons to get it back if you want it back.
Oh no, one of my 10 shurikens is gone.
Lahan, miss.
Why would I do that?
Random zone later on.
Here we go. Let's take a shot. 23 to hit the AC.
You just do it, and it's enough to drop them.
Ah!
That's super cool.
Fantastic.
I take. That's the only one. Huh.
Oh, I forgot to do a thing that was super important. And what it gets me is a dead ogre. Would you like to describe how this ogre falls in combat, other than looking with an intense amount of regret about some of its life decisions, but also pride at how its legs stood up to this Solarian?
Yeah, you know, he really put a lot of armor into his legs, but he forgot to armor his face. Apparently.
Oh,
He
that's
skipped face
embarrassing.
day.
He
Skipped face day.
Skipped face day, indeed.
And now he's dead for his trouble.
Feels so bad.
It's alright. I didn't get to do my thing either.
It's all right. You would have done a
We'll
lot
get
of
it next
murders
time,
anyway.
Jet.
Yeah, no,
We'll
this
get it
creature
next time.
falls after being shot in the face because it skipped face day. It flashes back. It's regretting so many life choices, but just a number of those are. It gets to the day on the calendar where it's like face day, and it just shakes its head, and then it goes and does something else.
He sees
More
all his
legs.
friends walking by in the barracks, and they're like, "Come on, we're gonna go lift with our faces." And he's like, "Nah, man, that's not for me."
That's
And then he's
not
there in
me.
the gym, and he's just doing regular squats while everybody else has like the bar on their face.
Yeah,
and they're
instead
like
of face
doing,
day, he had
doing
2
bench
leg
presses
days.
and squats with their
Yeah.
face.
It's like if you
Yeah,
watch
he was doing horse
Beastars,
squats.
Jaw Wars.
Jaw Wars.
Everyone's doing jawbreakers.
But I think we'll end there with that last ogre falling, seeing as how we're just a touch over time. I wanted to at least get us to the hook, and then combat ensued. But
Yeah.
I hope you
I
had
mean,
fun.
you asked us to roll a stealth check. What did you think was going to happen?
Oh no, I knew. I. 1 moment, baby. Okay, give me 5 minutes. All right. In 5 minutes.
It's a very important conversation going on, dear listener.
Very
Judy,
important.
Judy made a little paper banner, and I believe she wants to hang it up. But I told her 5 minutes, and then we can hang it up.
No, but it has to be now, Dad.
Come
right
on.
now.
You're just
I
the worst.
understand.
You're such a tyrant.
I mean, when the boss calls, you gotta jump.
Sure.
So I'd like to thank Paizo. They have a wonderful product that has evolved and changed over the years, and I'm working with the first iteration of what they got out, pretty much. So it's been interesting making the conversion, and I hope my players are enjoying my efforts.
I should say
Oh,
so.
we are.
We haven't run screaming yet.
It's true.
Not yet. Almost did when you saw the Endbringer, though.
Almost. We almost did not come back this week. We had a long conversation about it when Jet wasn't here.
Oh no!
And ultimately, we decided we still like the game.
Good. Leif, I'd like to thank you for running audio, but who do we have to thank for their wonderful musical contribution?
Of course. The same as always, White Bat Audio and Relax Cafe Music, all on YouTube, all 100% free, all 100% awesome.
And I would like to thank my players for sticking with me through all of what we've been through in Rise of the Star Lords. I very much love it. Sometimes work makes it a little hard to make it happen, but I really do appreciate you guys being here to play this game with me.
Yeah.
Aw.
Live plays aren't always easy to pull off. And I'm happy that we're doing it.
This is the first adventure path that I ever attempted to play. This is the most successful I've been at it because every other game has fallen apart. So
We're
A
happy to
solid
find
group is a rare thing to find.
True.
We are very lucky.
this Sunday, you are otherwise occupied, Tom, I believe. So we are not doing Fly Free or Die.
Correct. But tune in next time on Fly Free or Die to find out what the pronk happens after these suckers got their ship stolen.
Oh, I'm so mad.
Right?
So mad.
So rude.
If they mess with my kitchen.
Oh, they're gonna mess with your kitchen, Jack.
Oh, you have no idea what Gus is going to do to them.
Murder.
Yes,
There will be-
murder.
There will be a lot of murder, I think, when you all find these people.
We gotta kill that other Spathinae so hard,
Mm,
which is
Real.
gonna be real hard. Need to get
Well,
some.
I'm first.
We need to get some thermal capacitors.
oh yeah.
She's always glowing. I imagine she tends to favor photon.
Mm. That's quite a leap. Quite
Does
a
seem
leap.
likely,
Conclusion. You know what they say about assuming.
considering.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wildly wrong, but someone goes around glowing all the time, and
In a
Spathinae
color
don't
that's
normally
the
glow.
opposite of the other Spathinae we know.
Yeah, and they have a weird relationship, and I have theories.
There's something going on. Something fishy.
Next week, though, we're gonna get into the hook. We're gonna get into the Kreeg clan hold. Maybe you'll get to meet Barl Breakbones. Who knows? But I will say this: when we conclude our adventures at the hook, we will be concluding book 3.
Oh,
We getting there.
I'm just surprised that it's taken us until book 3 to get to the plot hook.
They don't get right to the point like they do nowadays.
Late, you know you think I'm great. You know you think my puns are awesome.
I think it was at the end of book 3
Unbelievable.
that the group that I ran for actually ended up almost making entirely new heroes to go off on the second part of the quest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they had one stick around.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Was it just
Reasons.
because? Okay, I was gonna say, was it just because like those characters were not invested in?
Oh, they were too invested in Sandpoint.
Ah, okay, now I remember.
Oh, right. It was the yeah.
Yes,
Never
yes.
get
And we
that.
give a bar to printing press for those of you who have read it.
All right.
Yes.
So I would like to mention, if you have any questions, comments, shout-outs, join our Discord. The link's below. If you're watching this on Twitch, it's below. And if you're listening to it, feel free to go to our Twitch, and then you could join the Discord and talk to us and look at various memes we post and maybe pictures of
You
our
could-
dogs or hedgehogs.
Search for If You Give a Bar to Printing Press and read the whole story, so I don't have to tell it again.
Yeah. Or if you don't want to do Discord, you could email us, nonstandardaction@gmail.com. And I am going to do my usual plea for icebreaker questions. I think I have maybe one more left that I can use for Rise of the Star Lords. Maybe. I very much would love any and all questions for the characters, not necessarily the players. Although at this point I would almost take questions for the players. There is a pinned document, a form that can be filled out. It's in our welcome channel. It's actually just on the welcome page, but it's pinned in the feedback channel. Please give us some questions.
Pretty please.
Pretty please. And I think it's time for us to say goodbye. We might bounce over to General, some of us, if not all of us, for a little
Goodbye.
while
Mm.
I
to chit
over
chat.
to General. Some
Some
of
of
us,
us,
all
if
of us.
not all of us.
Goodbye.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Bye!
Bye.